The NFC South, Andy. You can feel the
thinking
excitement. What a high stakes
Panthers.
game.
Has there ever been a team that only won division games, and it can't be like a 1-win team, like a team who has like at least a 500 record? Like they went 3-3 and they were like 3-13 that year. The Panthers did. The Panthers have other wins. They beat the Broncos the other week. But yeah, Alex Hickey bringing this up. This is wild. Like these guys that we really believe in as like the next best thing.
Did you ever believe in Leftwich?
I mean, I wasn't as high on them as some, but like there's a lot of these every year. And if you remember back to, we were talking about Tebow a couple years last episode, but do you remember the name that came out of that mess that really got thrown around as a high-end offensive coach that was going to get a coaching job that eventually did? Wasn't that Hackett? Wasn't he with that squad?
Yes.
Everybody was all over Hackett. He didn't get his chance, and then 5 years later he did, and that's been a disaster.
Yeah. No, Big Ten Water, the cool place to be is in Twitch feed. Welcome to the party, pal.
It's funny, like
joining
the oldest,
from Twitch.
Yeah, the oldest person in the chat is on Twitch, like the cool young kids. No offense.
Okay, so this game, man, this has been fucking horrible.
It's been a tough hang.
Unwatchable. I think. I mean, you want to rip through. You want to rip through some of the lowlights real quick. The goal
anything Tom Brady's done.
Well, the goal to go for the Bucs in the play calling was amazingly bad. The idea that the Leftwich decided, hey, let's kick. We got Lenny Fournette back. Let's fucking put him to work. Let's get him going. Well, he just needs about 30 touches to really get going.
It's almost like we talked about with Samaj Perine when we did the recap show the other day. It's the Joe Mixon effect, where it's like maybe if Lenny Fournette's out, this team is actually better. Not that White is great, but my goodness, this is it's like the NFC East of years past where every team was below 500. And the true lowlight, because Brady has been hitting Godwin on the regular when he's open. It hasn't been completely devoid of movement down the field from these teams. But I struggle when a team starts throwing these little outs in the red zone. Like, why? So, Drew, those quick hitters. Wipe your mind of that. Those quick hitters to wide receivers and stuff. Why do those work? Like when they do?
Because there's space.
Yeah, because the cornerback's 15 yards off the ball, or the safety's 30 yards deep.
Yes,
that doesn't tend to happen when you're at the 8-yard line.
Yeah.
Unless he's in the stands, like that stuff doesn't work when you're in the red zone. Like the complete and utter misunderstanding of like these plays don't work in every part of the field is nuts. It's like telling go run fly routes from the one. Like it's not the same. It's so painfully simple. And that whole series was just really rough to watch. I mean, if you're an under better, if you're a Saints better,
you were very happy. You were delighted. There's been some other wild stuff. Refs not really calling pass interference. That's fine. Some deep balls that Tom Brady's underthrowing. That's been characteristic of him all this season. The Tom Brady pick was just horrifically poor. He hasn't been making that specific mistake a lot this year, but it was good to see that old trick pulled back up because that's kind of been a staple of his time in Tampa Bay. On the other side of the football, the only kind of guy who brought his A game tonight was Taysom Hill. Like, I kind of want to see more Taysom Hill. I don't really know what else to ask for here from an entertainment standpoint. This is a sad garbage fire, not a funny one. Can you find anything funny in this, Andy?
No, and I do wonder, just from actually like what's happening and, kind of analyzing this game, how many points should there be
so far in this game?
Yeah, 13 feels a little light. Like I'm definitely not saying, hey, we should bet an over, because I don't think that's probably the right way to go here.
I mean 16 or 17 tops.
I was going to say 17 to 20, because the Saints had a couple guys open on that one. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the red zone. Tampa
Bay is clocking in at 3.9 yards per play, Andy.
We have
just trash. trash.
But they had a red zone possession. These two teams are 0-2 from the red zone. Obviously, the turnover made a big difference in the game.
That was their scripted shit.
Yeah, it was. I'm just saying, like, if you have an under, I think you're a little fortunate. There's not 17 at least. But
you're not sweating it.
No, I still think this under.
You're pretty satisfied that you made the right bet if you have an under. 20.5 is not I'm dying to get under in the second half here. I think this is probably a Saints or pass.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the points with the Saints. Bath fart. That's even worse, dude. Dude, don't fart in the bath. What if you overtrust it?
Oh shit, man. Yikes. Yeah, 20.5 is, I mean, for me, that's a fair second half total. We're trying to regress a little bit to the close.
I thought it'd be 21, but
3.5. Is that enough points to take the Saints here? Saints get the ball first. I didn't feel like any of the commentary that Todd Bowles gave us really tells us that he has any kind of leadership going right now, any kind of control over this locker room. A lot of vets on this team, a lot of old guys. They're not playing well. They're not happy. I don't know that you're getting a rah-rah, come together, this is our season kind of a moment anytime soon. Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, that's not going to be the Bobby Wagner speech.
No.
Jameis isn't going to switch sides and tell him to eat a W.
The pass rush isn't
Jason
really getting
Hayward
home.
Isn't on this team. There's going to be no good halftime speech.
What's I didn't really count any pressures.
So that was something too.
I guess
if I want to point out,
get sacked once. I don't know. Yeah.
If I want to point out one positive for Tampa Bay, Brady is sliding out of pressure like he's 26 again. Like
but
it's going to get to him. Like he's going here. If you could bet an over 1.5 like Saints sacks in the second half, I think that gets through. Maybe that's a wager at one of the legals. They take just about fucking anything, but it feels like that's coming. The Saints are getting some pressure, but boy, this is I'm gonna take the Saints and the points here.
Okay, Saints.
This isn't a crazy confident play like I loved it last night when we were both just like Cowboys, and nothing feels better than the other team scoring immediately.
Yeah, but 33-0 in the fourth quarter is nice when you have a Cowboys second half bet in your pocket. Godwin has been the only guy that the Buccaneers and Brady seems like he's interested in trying to work with in this game.
Godwin.
I guess because really the Buccaneers offense has been two things. It has been wasted downs to the running backs, 11 wasted touches to Leonard Fournette. The passing game to the wide receiving core has been a lot of staring at Chris Godwin because Godwin can apparently still get open against this New Orleans Saints team, whereas Mike Evans absolutely cannot. Lattimore has effectively wiped him off the face of the earth. Is Lattimore even playing? I haven't really wasn't even looking.
No, he's not playing. Sit. That's the
Lattimore's not even playing.
No, he's
Evans
not
just
even
can't beat the Saints.
No, he's essentially getting locked up by everybody else.
Pathetic, man.
Like I'm not sure.
Alontae Taylor.
I'm not sure if they're May helps out a little, I guess, but these corners that aren't Marcus Lattimore are kind of doing a great job.
Paulson.
Yeah, it sounds like Lattimore plays next week. He was close. It sounded like, but just couldn't quite, even though he did have some practices where he was limited.
Well, Paulson Adebo is good. He's taking Mike White out of this game. Mike Evans, excuse me. Chris Godwin, I don't know. He just doesn't have enough. This is how the
second half goes over. So the second half goes over if the Bucs just completely abandon the run, which would make the team better.
We have seen games like that though, Sam. Like Bucs.
They get a little Falcony.
You remember the Packers game? That was one of those where it was like Packers, excuse me, the Packers game. That was one of those where it was pretty clear what the Buccaneers needed to be doing, and they were still just insisting on trying to establish a running game. I mean, if Lenny Fournette beats us here, then so be it. But that guy stinks right now. He should not be getting any type of the Lions' share of touches in this game for this offense. No way. I mean, Rashad White has more, I guess. 4 targets and 8 carries to 5 targets and 6 carries. Still, like, neither guy has pop right now. The offensive line isn't giving you anything from a blocking standpoint. You just have to hope your running backs are getting anything going once you get the ball to them.
Lenny's best run should have been a 3-yard run. It was a boneheaded play by the Saints defender who came in to engage with someone who was, being partially tackled and just went for nothing but the ball. Didn't even try to tackle him. Just tried to come in and punch it and just bounced right. Yeah. Lenny's like 225. Like you got to get your arms on him.
Here's a funny wrinkle. You ready for this?
I don't know.
The Saints have a 10-yard completion, a 20-yard completion, a 30-yard completion, and a 40-yard completion. They are hitting every level of the ladder. Exactly round numbers. Weirdly.
You see that? That gave me like a cold shiver. I'm not even kidding.
It's weird. What are they doing? I
didn't like that.
Yeah. Taysom Hills, though. And I guess
if you look at Leonard Fournette's carries individually, it's actually a Fibonacci sequence. 0, 1, 1. that actually checks out. It stops pretty quickly though. He does have a 7.
Fibonacci Lenny. He has a 7. That is 7 is a
Fibonacci number.
Yeah.
I might go Google Nautilus shows.
No, I don't think it is a Fibonacci number. It's 1125, right?
7.
Oh.
Okay.
1
1 1 2 0 1 1 2 3
1 1 2 3 5
8.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at us.
Yeah. We know our
Baker. Let's talk Baker to the Niners thing. I should engage Dr. Eager because he actually works with teams and probably understands this. Here's a question, and maybe somebody in the chat knows the answer. Maybe Drew knows, and I just didn't realize he knew more than I thought he did. What is the waiver? What is the waivers? Like, I understand what the waivers are.
Yeah.
Is it like, do you actually have to do something? Like, does someone have to make a call, answer a call, send a fax, answer an email, and say, it's our turn, we
waiver
pass?
Claims.
No. Or is there a time limit?
You submit your waiver claims and
like fantasy football.
Like fantasy football, and the commissioner orders them in terms of your record.
So if 5 teams submit claims,
whoever has the worst record,
whoever was higher in the order, and there's definitely fax machines involved.
For sure, fax machines are involved.
Can you fax that over?
Faxing. They fax in their waiver claims, and then they sort them.
FAAB. And
I don't know if it's like fantasy football in that if you are the worst team, I don't know if you get all your claims and then they move down, or if you just get your first priority and then they go down the list and they award priority.
It resets.
And really,
I like this.
Most of the time, when you have well compensated players like quarterbacks, they clear waivers because the teams do not want to be responsible for the money that
Baker's only like $1 million though.
Is he worth that?
Maybe to somebody like Houston wants to kick the tires on him. I don't know. I don't know how teams feel about him. I do like the idea though. Now I don't even want to talk about Baker anymore. You've captured my imagination.
Well, what about the idea of
into an auction style? Everyone submits a bid.
I like it.
And then it doesn't matter what your bid is. That money you owe that money in, and all that money goes to actually goes to one of these causes that the NFL does nothing but put on pink cleats for.
I like it.
And they paint end racism in the end zone. Doesn't do shit. All the money goes to something like that.
I'm pretty sure that ended racism, Andy.
It does say it in the end zone of most stadiums. So
anyway, the idea of an auction style waiver system would be sick. Anything to make it more interesting to find out where Baker Mayfield is going to play football next.
It's wild.
Although two quick thoughts on Baker Mayfield. One, I got a chuckle when everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to go to the Niners. This is the answer, the Niners." That made me laugh. Then I heard a wrinkle of, the Rams might cock block him and get Baker so that the Niners can't get him. That'd be a great move by the Rams. And I'm like, okay, that's also insane.
That's like running in front of your buddy and stepping in a pile of dog shit. Like, oh, you can't do it now.
And in reality, like Baker going to the Niners would accentuate the Niners season being over, not save their season by any stretch of the imagination. Baker was the worst quarterback that started over 200 snaps, over 200 dropbacks this year in the NFL. He was. So I don't think anyone's picking him up. Sorry, guys.
It doesn't matter who starts in this.
No, you're better off with Brock Purdy, who took the second team snaps after Trey Lance got hurt. Really. And here's the key question then, because we didn't really dive into this yesterday, and I'm shocked that the market is still where it is on all these games. The downgrade from Jimmy G to Brock Purdy is massive. It's fucking massive. I feel it. I feel like there's no way that you can talk yourself into Shanahan's system being so quarterback friendly that this isn't at a minimum a 3-point downgrade.
If only,
but more realistically,
only
like 6.
We'd seen CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins and the like play in games over the last few seasons. Like, we have seen it. It always has been a downgrade. I think 3 is light, Drew.
Yeah, right.
It's actually probably 4
to 6 somewhere.
I think it's 4, but it becomes 3 later in the season, because you can say Brock Purdy sucks and he's not Jimmy G, and that's true, but it is a good coach. It is a well-coached team. It's a smart staff who will make it easier and easier on Brock Purdy to run this offense. Like, he should get more comfortable, and the team will play, similar to how they've been playing, just maybe it won't be quite as good on the passing offense, because you have a quarterback is 4 points worse.
So the games, did you see, like, I don't really remember what the game state was when Jimmy G went out, but did you see what happened with the live line? Was there any kind of signal there in terms of what
I didn't catch that. No, I didn't really catch it.
Okay.
I was too busy.
Okay. Here are some players, by the way, who were drafted before Brock Purdy.
I mean, you could name like 300.
I could name 271 of them.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, of course. He was picked 262. So, 261 of them. Chris Olajuwon of South Dakota State. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers as a quarterback.
Yeah, that was their second quarterback they took in that draft.
Yeah. Bailey Zapp, of course, of famous "I'm better than Mac Jones, but maybe not" fame from Monday Night Football.
For at least a quarter, he was better than Mac Jones.
Yeah. Desmond Ridder, who we haven't seen. Matt Corral, who's been on the IR all year. Sam Howell, who we haven't seen. Skylar Thompson, who came in for the Miami Dolphins and lost some games.
This has to be annoying for Niners fans that it happened like after the trade deadline.
Oh, sure.
And especially with a team who's poised to.
It happens every year. Jimmy G gets hurt every single year. Like, we really shouldn't be surprised by it. And they should have had a better plan in place once Trey Lance was for sure done.
That's fair too, because once Trey Lance was gone, you have
somebody.
An empty cupboard there.
Yeah, go get somebody. Seriously.
There was an article today. I don't think it was actually an article. It was like a tweet that was, a promotional tweet that was for like a podcast or a radio show or something. And it mentioned Kaepernick, like, in earnest. Like, I get
really?
that. I get that, like, the chat was joking about it yesterday, and that's fun. But that guy legitimately hasn't played football in like 10 years. Like, we aren't still doing that. And
no,
I'm not going to get into the political debate about that. He probably got short shrifted. Like, he was almost certainly blackballed by the league.
Yes.
And that's that. But it is 2022. We can't be signing Colin Kaepernick anymore. Every time he goes and does a workout, these people have to say, yeah, he looked great, because you don't want to get roasted in the media by saying, yeah, he looked like he hasn't played in 10 years. Like, he was horrible. We wasted our time here. No, you just say the nice thing and you move on. So, yeah, Florio will still be tweeting it.
Andy, who is the last Mr. Irrelevant quarterback?
Oof, that's toughy.
It was 2017, and he is a name you know.
Was it Josh Johnson?
It was Chad Kelly.
The Swag Kelly.
Took Swag
God
Kelly from Ole Miss with pick 253 in 2017. Not a lot of other names on this list who I recognize. Chandler Harnish apparently was a Mr. Irrelevant quarterback drafted by the Colts in 2012. Ronnie McAdda of Army, quarterback, drafted in 1997 by the Packers.
I don't think you should ever draft an Army quarterback.
No, they have to serve.
Unless you're like, hey, you're a running back now.
1991, the Giants drafted a quarterback as Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Larry Wonky. No? He played at John Carroll University, which is a private Jesuit university in University Heights, Ohio.
That's a D3 powerhouse. That's
dude, this is a funny list of irrelevant.
He started
people.
his career at Pittsburgh, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think the most successful of the Mr. Irrelevants, probably Ryan Suckup. He was a Super Bowl winner. He was Mr. Irrelevant in 2009 draft. He's, of course, he was a kicker drafted by the Chiefs at that time, but I think he won the Super Bowl with it wasn't the Chiefs, was it?
No,
he's active. He's on the He's on
he's
the Bucks. He's playing tonight. Yeah, he was a champion with the Buccaneers.
Literally on our TV. Did you have any, just before I run, because I'm going to go I'm tired
sure.
For some reason. Did you have any takes on the 4 men, always men, women never getting a fair shake in this, that were given the opportunity to come to New York and stand on that stage for Heisman? I don't watch college football games. I spend time with my family on Saturdays for the most part. I make a few bets based on information that people are kind enough to share, and then I check the account Saturday night. It's kind of like fantasy football, although I do have a fantasy football story, which is going to bore the shit out of people. Like, Stetson Bennett isn't a good quarterback. He's just a good player. He's a good player on a great team.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I saw Dan won a bet, so I'm happy for him. But
Stetson Bennett. Yeah, he was going to get the invite.
Yeah, did Hooker get kind of shafted here? I thought he was.
Well,
great.
Stetson Bennett beat Hooker. I don't know if you remember that game, but
yeah, no, I mean that was a fucking destruction. Honestly, the score could have been bigger.
Yeah, Bennett threw a good ball in that game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
That's what gets him invited.
It'll be cool to see if Bennett's 15-year-old's 3-year-old is at the because he's like 40.
Not too shabby for a team that ran the ball more than they threw it. That's how they're selling Stetson Bennett's Heisman.
I think it's one of those things where it's still like a 2-man race that's actually just a 1-man race.
Bennett's team success and rags to riches story as a former walk-on who had to take the junior college route just to convince Georgia he could be the guy.
I don't think you can say rags to riches when your name is Stetson. When your name is Stetson Bennett the fourth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And like, you can't say rags. Did it say rags to riches somewhere, Drew?
Yes, it did. His relatively meager individual statistics, plus playing on college football's most talented team, could also work against Bennett with the Heisman voters. I think that's true.
That's hilarious.
I think that's true.
I feel bad for this kid. A lot of kids in his class had 2 country club memberships. He only grew up with 1.
He only got to see the Masters in person 5 times. He missed there was like an entire 3-year stretch where Tiger was playing. He didn't get to go. So
Fumbalaya. The Buccaneers got the ball back after the punt from the Saints, and now they fumbled it back as we have more hilarity. Fantasy football story is I checked my fantasy team because I'm the commissioner, and I'm like, shit, I need to figure out when the playoffs start because I got to set that stuff up. I'm 6-6, going on 7-6.
Nice job, man.
Turns out I'm the division winner because the next there's only 1 week left.
So you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of your
Yes,
fantasy
I am the
football
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there's only 1 week of regular season left, and the best we could do is tie. And I have like a 150-point lead on the next guy. I've scored the most points in the league too. That's how fucked up fantasy is. So I've won, and this works out too because I hold the money. So like the more money I win, the fewer Venmos I have to send. Did the thing glitch?
Yeah, the internet didn't want to hear your story.
Oh yeah, the internet. Yeah. No, so I don't have a very good kicker.
Okay. Classic problem of a lot of very good fantasy squads. Yeah.
Yeah, I need somebody in here to DM me or tweet me and tell me like who's a good kicker to have over the weeks 15, 16, and 17.
Try to get Carlson from Vegas.
Okay. I'll see if he's available. I need like a list of 10 kickers.
You want somebody who's playing indoors.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I want a good team with a bad red zone offense that plays indoors and doesn't have to play in like Green Bay and
yeah, 17. I would target Carlson from the Raiders, see if he's available. Yeah. The Raiders go at their one bad game is at the Steelers, I guess, outdoors. Otherwise, they're playing Rams, Patriots, Niners, Chiefs at home to end the season. So the penalty kicks sweat was somewhat serious. That would have cost me a lot of money if Japan advanced. I needed Croatia.
Luckily, they let their kids kick. Like the little kids that they bring out before the match, they let those guys take the penalties.
Let me ask you a question. So I have no skin in Morocco, Spain tomorrow. But if Morocco pulls off the upset, I lose half of the furthest advancing African team pot, which is about $6,500. So do I bet Morocco to advance to cover that so that I don't give back some of that pot? Is Morocco live at all, in your opinion?
They're live to make a match of it, but I don't. They're like +1. I bet both teams score in that one. I think it's like a 2-1, 3-1 kind of thing, or maybe it gets real squirrely and Spain has to score in extra time. It's really, really hard to properly gauge Spain because they had that huge goal differential lead off the bat, and then they kind of just, after they had the draw with Germany, they could just coast.
Yeah, like they could look like who's another team that in the knockout rounds basically just flipped the switch. Basically, all the good teams so far.
Yeah, I mean, all the good teams.
Brazil, Brazil is kind of a good example. Although I'm very disappointed that Brazil didn't give us a single goal in the second half of that game. I needed like 4, but they got 0. So awful. There were some very heroic saves by the South Korean keeper.
PD from the chat.
Yeah, he's hitting a lot of first goal scores.
He's hitting a lot of first goal scores. I had a nice little chunk on Vinny Jr., who is my Golden Boot guy. It's just gonna be Mbappe, but
Golden.
He's got 5. He's got 5.
Golden Boot, yeah, but Golden Ball.
I didn't
MVP.
Bet that,
oh, you didn't bet that? You bet Golden Boot?
I think so. Now I'm gonna have to go check. I also have a Kareem Benzema Golden Boot, which
Golden Ball is really interesting. Yeah, Kareem Benzema is not going to get it.
A lot of people, what a lot of people bet, and I did too. A lot of people just bet Messi.
Yeah.
Because if he gets to like the finals or the semifinals and has like 5 goals, it's a lifetime achievement award. They'll give it to him.
Well, that's a funny thing, Andy, that I looked as I was researching and betting the Golden Ball. It rarely goes to the winning team. In fact, it almost never goes to the winning team.
It's kind of like go back. You know what it is, Drew? It's Offensive Player of the Year.
It's Offensive Player of the Year.
Golden Ball MVP or Golden Boot MVP, Golden Ball Offensive Player of the Year.
Basically. It almost always goes to a team that's in the Final Four. Like you have to be in the Final Four.
My dreams.
Messi won it in 2014. Messi won in 2014 without scoring a knockout goal. He won it.
It's so weird when I don't think Harry Kane scored a knockout goal when he won the boot last time.
Well, yeah, but the ball,
Also,
Messi was named the most outstanding player of the entire World Cup, even though he didn't score a single goal in the knockout.
He's very good at dribbling. Have you seen him?
Shit, dude! It was his dribbling was pretty unbelievably good. But yeah, I think you have to go back to like '94 Brazil to find the golden ball winner on the team that ultimately lifted the trophy.
Here's the thing. It's funny how the parallels are going into Offensive Player of the Year. It's like the Tyreek thing because he's a beater of people.
Sure.
Ronaldo, now the fact that he signed with the Saudi Arabian side, isn't he kind of looked down upon a little by the footballing community?
For sure. You know who really should feel the most upset about it is Nike. Nike elected not to put Vinicius Jr. into any of their advertising campaign, and as a result of that, Vinny has severed ties with Nike, and he is going to be an absolute star of this World Cup. Make no mistake.
Man, they lost Vinny and Kyrie in 1 week.
I know
that's the thing. Like, poor Ronaldo, $200 million a year to play soccer.
That's a lot of money.
I need to get my boots out.
You know,
I feel like resurrecting my career at 38 isn't going to happen. But
do you think that they basically just call a penalty in every game and just like, hey, make them go do the penalty?
I wondered about that. It's like
every single game, they just call a penalty.
Bart, say the line.
Let's do the say the line. We're paying you $200 million a year. Go kick the penalty, Ronaldo. Do it. We want to see it.
Yeah, if you start betting some of these real offshoot leagues, like if you get to like, Middle Eastern leagues, or even like I've bet some Chinese soccer. Yeah. There's some shenanigans. Like shit gets weird.
Yeah.
You just bet Hulk to score.
Yeah. I think right now you're looking at a short list of golden ball most outstanding player of the tournament is going to be Messi, Vinny Jr., and Mbappe. Mbappe he's clearly in the lead for that. He has been amazing.
Well, I think if he wins boot, though, they might give it the ball to somebody else.
So there's some
can you win
crossover. You definitely can. Boot is not voted on. It's just raw statistics.
What's going on in this game? I'm not even watching.
I assume the Saints are doing something awesome because I'm not paying attention.
Oh, Levante David just got hurt.
We're on the 3. We're on the 3.
Fill me in on the Levante David.
Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy. Yeah.
See, and this is what I was thinking. If France wins and Mbappe, obviously has like 7 or 8 goals, it's Mbappe boot, Giroud ball, and then you give the Tim Howard or whatever the
Golden Gloves.
Is he the goalie? Is that the right name?
Tim, who you want to give the Golden Gloves to? Our guy?
Yeah.
Our guy.
No, actually, we should give it to the Croatian goalkeeper. He had 3 saves.
Was that even on him, or was that Japanese?
Oh, those were bad.
So sad. You could see them even as they were like putting if you had a good live stream and good live access to betting yes or no penalty makes, you could have body language picked which Japanese guys were going to miss. They just went up there and were.
Do you remember that TikTok last year where Ben Roethlisberger would raise his heel?
Yes.
And it would be a run play, and if it was down, it would be a pass.
Yes.
It felt like it was some shit like that where they all had a tell, or just it'd be funny if there was just a sheet of paper that said hey, they all kick to the left, all of them. It's like he just knew which way to go every time. He never second guessed it.
Good question by Raul Boykin. First goal scorer in the Swiss match tomorrow, Andy.
Oof. I'm not good at
does Shaka have another in him, or is he like unfit and unwell to play after how long?
Shaka or Shaqiri? Shaqiri
is the guy that's too fat to be out there, right?
No, he's good. He's kind of been killing it.
What is your read though? Realistically,
Shaka hasn't. I don't think Shaka's scored.
Shaka hasn't scored yet. You're right. Shaqiri?
Shaqiri has 2 or 3, man.
Shaqiri.
I mean, you're right. He's a chonk. That guy could Levante David's out. Put Shaqiri in. Guy's a fucking linebacker. I mean, his neck and his head are just beat.
Yeah.
I would mess with him.
We're not rooting for Ronaldo to score a goal in that game. Bruno Fernandes, much better player. If anybody gets going on Portugal, I would guess it's Fernandes. What do you think?
I mean, probably just Ronaldo and a penalty. So
12 men on the field.
Yeah, we need to stop paying attention again.
Unbelievable.
All right, I'm gonna go drink. I think I'll just stay here and drink. See you guys.
All right.